2-0 group.
Light. Well, guess we're here.
I suppose we are, sir.
I suppose we are. Took a bit. Hi, friends, internet people. I'm Ray Tog. And this is my weird new fucking game. For those of you who might not know and who might pick this up later, this is my... I've run a bunch of games with my friends, and there's a large pool of people who want to play RPGs, so we decided to split it up a little bit to make things a little interesting, and I wanted to move to an area that I knew best, which is horror, of course. Why wouldn't it be? So this is my take on a modern Call of Cthulhu game. And I guess the best way to introduce a new setting is with somebody who is entirely unfamiliar with it. Say hi, Harambe.
Hello there.
Hi. The young, strapping young lad right there has not been invited to the Discord yet. He has not been involved in anything except the stuff that has been posted on the YouTubes. He's a fresh, beautiful baby boy, and I think we're going to have a good time tonight. So, if people have been following the feeds at all, our boy Jack here has decided that he wanted to follow up on an interview. Interviews are inherently intimidating. When you think about one, they very, very quickly put a knot in your stomach. Doesn't matter who you are, it's just one of those things. So, Mr. Jack, before we get started, what do you think our audience should know about this character that you've made before we get started? Can be as much or as little as you want.
Well, Jack Beans Napier is he's quite an interesting fellow, believe it or not. He's retired military, did several years in the Navy. He was a mechanic in the Navy, so he definitely learned a lot about different things there. He learned, quite a bit during his tenure there, and now he's a mechanic. But he's looking for something more out after life in the military. He's one of those kind of almost do-gooders in a way. He'll never leave a man behind, that kind of deal. Stuff that typically you'll see in the military. One thing of note is he follows the Norse pantheon of gods and goddesses, so oftentimes you'll see, such as myself here, you'll see that he tends to hold true to his faith and religion. And, he's like 5'8", 200 pounds, a stocky guy, brunette, hazel eyes, Caucasian, shockingly Caucasian.
As we all are.
But he's a pretty good guy overall, and he's, like I said, he's looking for something more with life that we'll get to later on.
Excellent. So, after the callback, and you had your moment of, beans, it's the day of the interview. How would Mr. Jack go about moving forward to this interview, going to the place? Give me a little snapshot of their life.
He'd wake up early the day of the interview, kind of make sure he wore his best suit and tie, white collared shirt, black tie, black suit jacket, black slacks, even his best dress shoes, a pair of comfortable loafers. He learned in the military very quickly that comfort is very much something you have to earn in his eyes. So he treated himself a little bit by getting some nice, comfortable, loafers for all the walking that he's sure to do, to make it to the place eventually. He'd have his breakfast and with a cup of coffee. He likes the almond silk creamers. And then shortly before the interview, he'd make sure that he arrived at the place early, so he'd probably leave about an hour or so before he needed to be there to make sure he made it on time.
Excellent. And I believe you recall that actually getting to the place was a little off. Do you remember what your instructions were?
Something to the effect of take a left, then a right, and then a left, and then a right, but it sounded really strange and almost foreboding.
Specific instructions were whatever city that you were in. Out of curiosity, which city is Jack in?
He'd probably be in Chesapeake.
Okay. To go to the center of your city. The very heart, as close as you can get. Then you're supposed to drive in a direction. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And don't miss a turn. No matter what. Because it could be bad. Now, because this is this game, I'm going to begin fucking with you instantly, so I would like you to get onto your character sheet, if it is not open already, and give me a luck roll.
Alright, let's see. A luck roll, huh?
Click on luck.
There it is.
What do you know? Lucky boy. Let's see how it holds up. You move through the streets of Chesapeake. You're familiar with these. You know these streets rather well. And you slowly start making your way closer to the northish side of town, going further and further, until, once again, you received the instruction that you would know it when you see it. And, boy, we're pretty sure you know it when you see it.
Oh.
It's kind of out of the way. You wouldn't have normally come this way yourself. It is most certainly a cold, stark-looking building. Brutalist architecture. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere in a parking lot you're pretty sure that you've driven past 1,000 times. You don't ever remember seeing this. Kind of pull up to the parking lot. It's huge. It's kind of vacant. There doesn't seem to be anybody in the parking lot. You kind of look around. Weather is overcast, as is kind of normal for this chunk of year. You look around a little bit more. There's no, names. There's no labels. There's no numbers on the building. There's no discernible address but this is... You feel something in your gut. The luck that you have tells you, well, shit. Yeah, this is probably it.
All right. Jack is definitely early, I would imagine.
Okay.
So he gets out of his car and starts towards the building.
Wonderful. You walk up. It actually kind of takes a second to like find where the fucking door in this weird looking place is. Brutalist buildings are weird like that. They're all like straight lines and concrete. All seem to be kind of like designed to either be cold and intimidating, or built like a fortress that could probably withstand a bomb. But
Okay.
wandering around the front area, you do eventually find a door. Open it up. Inside is quite a big inside. Gives you a very different impression than the outside. There's a few people milling around. Black and red motifs. A little bit of white. Tall ceilings, arched. Columns. Look like they're made out of old brass. Very even intervals.
Okay. I will look for maybe a floor plan or some kind of sign to tell me where I need to go. And failing that, I would ask one of the individuals walking around it where I can that I'm here for an interview.
It isn't hard to find a floor plan rather quickly. The front has a very minimal map, and it's got a lot of markings of things like administration wing, requisitions, holding, storage, and a little bit of a map. But there is one that indicates you would probably need to go down this significant hall for a long ways that says reception.
Okay. I go towards reception.
You go towards reception. It's an interesting building. There's people around, as shown in this picture. Some of them seem to be sitting and waiting. All of them seem to be in, like, at worst, business casual, at most, full dress. You're getting government vibes pretty firmly. Every step you take in that hallway is kind of like unbearably loud. Like if you were the type of person who didn't want to draw attention to yourself, this structure is, just by the nature of how tall the ceilings are and what the floors are made out of, your footsteps are loud. You are noticed every step of the way. Couple people glance over at you as you pass by. They give you like a quick once over, kind of this guy supposed to be here? But they don't interfere with you. Further down the hallway, tick, tick, tick. You can't walk quiet. It is really quiet in here. The echoes are pervasive. Eventually, however, there's a turn, and the ceilings get to be a little bit lower, and you do find yourself at a surprisingly small little receptionist desk. There is one lady behind it, like suit pants, gray, brown hair, kind of on the mousy side, looking down, typing, seems to be typing something, doesn't, despite how loud you feel your footsteps are, doesn't seem to notice your approach.
Okay. I walk up to this individual and say, excuse me, my name is Jack Napier. I have an interview.
She glances up. Like, oh, you're the new potential. Okay. Welcome. You're a little bit early, so that'll make this next part easier. And she stands up and like kind of gives a once overview. So, do you happen to have any electronic devices on you right now?
I have my cell phone.
She kind of gives this look that's like almost disappointed look, but kind of expected it kind of look, and passes two things under the plastic see-through glass, plexiglass thing that is between you and her. One is like one of those metal like plates that you would probably put things in when you were in a if you were in an airport getting your stuff screened. The other thing that she slides across is a piece of paper that lists at the top restricted items that I am going to throw at you right now. And I'm going to blow up for our audience. Those who can't read says, reminder. Certain objects are not allowed inside the department. Recent incidents have necessitated a issued reminder of prohibited materials. Unauthorized weapons, pagers, laptops, smart watches, smart phones, smart gaming devices, anything smart. Number 2, pencils. Any objects considered iconic representations of archetypical concepts, e.g. rubber ducks, ketchup bottles, idols of any deities, real or fictional, etc. All materials under department investigation are to be brought through the private entrances. If you see any lobby personnel in breach of these policies, please notify your superior immediately. As you are reading this, if you glance back up to the receptionist, you note that she has already gone back to ignoring you. As if she has gone through this 100,000 times.
Jack remembers he's also, after reading this list, he remembers he's also wearing his deity's symbol and necklace. So he takes that off. He takes out his phone out of his pocket and puts those on the plate.
Once that is done, it's like you come into existence again to this person. She looks up, looks at the stuff down there, kind of gives a looks up at you, nods, takes it, and puts it back into what looks like a itemized bin, almost like a mail system. A bunch of little cubbies, and one goes in a little drawer. Actually, give me as I learn these new skills and stuff, I believe it would be spot hidden. Give me a spot hidden check.
All right, let's see.
Oh, hey, thanks, mods.
Kills. Spot hidden, huh?
Uh-huh. It's a little too small for you to read. If you were just a little bit closer, if you like leaned up and got into a personal space a little bit. Actually, this is probably a great time to go over one of the rules of Call of Cthulhu. When somebody fails a roll, there is another potential for you to roll again. It's called pushing it, where essentially you can choose, like, I'm going to try to do X, Y, or Z to try and, make the roll succeed. With the caveat of, if it doesn't work, there's a little bit of a consequence. And that can have a sliding scale depending on the situation. You want to push it?
Well, I'm going to say I don't want to push it this time. Because
Excellent.
I'm trying to make a good first impression here.
First impressions are good. We'll see if that works out for you. She slides the your items, into a little cubby. Turns back around to face you and said, thank you very much. You'll be in room 3 down there, past the, there's a waiting room. And she just kind of points down the hall.
I say, thank you very much.
And away you go.
Yeah.
You've seen a few waiting rooms in your time. All of the rooms that you've kind of been in to this point feel, except for that opening hall, kind of feel remarkably generic. Almost like liminal. This place looks very, very clean. There's a tiny little toy set with the beads that a kid could drag around on the little colorful things, almost like a doctor's office. There's some very, very strange thing on the television that is playing silently that when you're looking at it, you think, is that the fucking Teletubbies? But it doesn't look right. It looks like off, like way more off of that. There are empty chairs, an empty room, and one door.
I will take a seat in one of the waiting room chairs for the moment. Give it a few minutes.
Okay. Your cell phone has been removed from your person, as well as your electronics. What's Jack doing while he's waiting? Is he just staring blankly? He's got something going on in his mind? Or, without the ever-present entertainment brick, how's he handle waiting for a couple of minutes?
Well, he's just preparing himself, kind of thinking about some of the potential interview questions he might be asked, but he's also thinking, he's a little distracted, not from the lack of cell phone, but the way he got here was strange. I mean, he doesn't recall ever he's been all over Chesapeake. He's lived here since he got out of the Navy, so he's been all over the town. He's done mechanic jobs here and there, but he doesn't quite recall seeing this place. And then his mind shifts to the inside of the building, where it's remarkably clean and almost eerily quiet. And then he thinks, well, I probably shouldn't think of traditional interview questions. I should think to myself here, what the hell have I gotten myself into?
Almost on cue. The thought, what the hell have I gotten myself into, crosses your mind. An almost comedic single beat of time passes as you're having the maybe I shouldn't be here moment. When the door opens,
Jack looks towards the door.
see if this works. Yes, it worked. And now I have to move things around.
Oh, fancy. Jack stands up and proceeds to walk towards the very sharply dressed gentleman with the hand extended for a handshake.
We don't do that here a whole lot, actually. Go ahead and take a seat.
Fair enough. Thank you kindly, sir.
And you both move into the interview room. Inside, the lighting's a little different. It's, outside there's a nice Teletubbies-esque thing going on. Colors are warm. There's a little thing for children to play with inside this. It is interrogation room. You can't see the ceiling. You don't know how high up it goes. There's a single table with some really cheap, uncushioned folding chairs in front of it. And a really big mirror on one side.
Welcome, Mr. Napier. May I call you Jack, or do you prefer Beans?
Beans, I prefer, if it's all the same to you, good sir.
All right. I guess that's where we're going to start this out at. I apologize for my current facial structure. A little while ago, I had an issue to deal with in Chicago that required a little more governmental look about. Normally, I'm a little less conspicuous. But let's get right down to brass tacks here. First off, you remember your number 2 pencil that you're supposed to bring?
I was told that I was not to bring a number 2 pencil into the building.
Very good. You don't want to know what happened to the last fellow that did. Fortunately for you, you made it here on time. A little early, as a matter of fact. I like that. I like punctuality. I was asked to conduct your interview because I happen to be nearby. Let me see. Where you from, Mr. Napier?
I was born and raised in Virginia, sir.
Virginia. Smells like we're somewhere coastal. Is that about right?
Yes, sir. We're in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Obviously. Thank you for reminding me. Now, I got some pretty standard interview questions, a little touch base sort of thing to kind of warm you up and get you ready for the process. So, first and foremost, one thing I do want to mention, if at any point in time we are having this interview and you happen to see something in the reflection of my glasses, please refrain from turning around and looking at said thing. It's just a better idea if you don't. Second, tell me, Mr. Beans, why do you want to work here?
Well, sir, in truth, I want to make the world a better place and really sort out the mysteries of the world in the process. I've seen some interesting things over the past few years, and I couldn't quite explain them, but I think this somehow speaks out as a chance to start explaining them and help a lot of people in the process.
Interesting. Now, real quick, first thing that you want to do when you introduce yourself, ask if by any chance you can get that other person's name. I don't believe I introduced myself right away. I'm Agent Stone. I've been with the department for some time now. And, well, looking here at your bona fides, I see that you were a Navy mechanic of E3 rank. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct, Agent Stone, sir.
Excellent. And now, I'm curious as to your desire to seek out the unexplained and learn the mysteries of the universe, how you being a mechanic, formerly of the Navy, makes you the most qualified candidate to work with the department.
Well, sir, in truth, as I mentioned previously, I have seen some things over the past few years that I couldn't quite explain, which, as a mechanic, you may be thinking, oh, I've just some weird engine hot wiring or something, but no, sir, I mean spirits, I think. Something of that nature, anyways. And in the process of that, well,
Interesting. And you said you see these spirits. Have you been evaluated by a psychiatric professional anytime recently?
no, sir, I have not.
You didn't think maybe to check there first?
No, sir.
Well, that's good. That means you might be in the right place. So, I guess I'd like to know a little bit more about you. I got all the papers in the world over here, and I got a pretty good sense of yourself walking in here. But if you were to introduce me to some of your previous coworkers or friends, can you give me 3 words that they might use to describe you?
Honest, outgoing, crazy, in truth.
That last one's a nice one. Makes you a little more interesting, at least. Now, when you were walking in here, at any point did your ears or any other orifice bleed?
No, sir.
That's good. Excellent. In fact, I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions. These interviews are pretty routine, little checking the box, crossing the dots, T's, all that fun stuff. I do appreciate a man that dresses up. Most people don't these days. Seems like you know where you're supposed to be. That's where you are right now. In 5 years, let's say you make it, that you live a happy little life, where do you see yourself?
I see myself helping not just this organization, but helping people around the world to make sure that they're heard, to make sure that they're safe, and to make sure that anything that goes bump in the night or otherwise, whether it's man or not, is contained, we'll say, as needed.
But let me get this straight, Mr. Napier, and correct me if I am incorrect at any point in my recollection, but you are an honest, slightly crazy man searching for the answers of the universe that wants to help people from the things that go bump in the night, who also goes by the name of Beans on occasion. Yeah, I got that about right?
That's correct, sir.
All right. I see here that you may have had a potential run-in with an organization that goes by a three-letter acronym that starts with C and ends with A. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Now, are you familiar with the kill team that followed you here today?
No, sir.
Now, you sure about that? Now, think real hard. Is there any reason that you can think of that a kill team from a government organization would have followed you here to this lovely, beautifully cold and repressing building?
They obviously must think I know something that they don't want me knowing, sir.
What do you think you know that they don't want you to know?
Suppose it has something to do with the spirits or something to that effect that I've been seeing since my last run-in with a, shall we say, talent scout from that lovely Alphabet Soup organization you mentioned previously.
Right about this moment, there's a brief noise outside. The door behind you was remarkably well sealed, and it feels like this is a soundproof room. But there's still like a moment where you hear like a distinctive like on the other side.
Well, you hear that sound at the door. That means that we might have our number 2 joining us this evening. One final question before we invite that potential person in, and this is really just for my personal edification. If you order yourself a nice, big, juicy hot dog from, say, Chicago, do you prefer mustard or ketchup on your dog there, sir?
More of a ketchup man myself, personally.
Well, I guess there's no counting for taste, but that is not part of the interview officially. Excuse me, Mr. Severus, would you mind joining us, please? Let's just be a minute.
And as he says those things, a boop. There it is. Now I have to change things again. Alright. I believe your camera's off, my friend. And I hear myself too. This is gonna be fun. Yay, technology. There it goes. Woo-ha. The door opens. And in walks, well, you know what? Severus, go ahead and describe yourself.
Severus is about 6'3", blonde hair, blue eyes. He stands very traditional, very military. It seems like he has no down. He is always on guard. He has that air about him. As he enters the room, as he has been taken care of, which they are no longer here.
Well, that is just excellent news. That's what I like to hear. Mr. Napier, this here is one of our operatives, and Well, tonight you could consider him a little bit of a babysitter. But I got some good news for you and I got some bad news. So I'm going to give you the option, as my mom always gave me. Would you like to hear the good or the bad first?
I suppose the good news would do me some justice to level set.
You
Everybody
hear
likes
it.
to eat their dessert a little bit sooner than dinner. I understand that.
You hear behind him.
Well, the good news, Mr. Napier, is that little kill squad that the CIA sent to apprehend you is no longer a threat. They made the mistake of following you here, and, well, let's just say they were a little out of their jurisdiction. But now, unfortunately, I do have to share with you the bad news. And that is, while your night is just getting started, it may not go as well as you think it's going to go. But these little sort of initiation rituals are needed to vet the candidates appropriately. And we all went through them in our time. Some variation of which, I should say. I would caution you to treat this very seriously, though you seem like a man that will. But just in case, and just to make sure, Mr. Muller here is going to accompany you. Does that sound all right with you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Muller, might I ask, have you been briefed on this assignment in any capacity, or am I breaking the news to you as well?
You are breaking the news to me.
Excellent. I do love being the messenger. Well, are any of you familiar with a little internet game called the elevator game?
I do not have access to the internet.
That is a very good way to live your life. What about you, Mr. Napier? Have you ever heard of the elevator game?
Can't say I've heard of the elevator game. Elevator speeches, on the other hand, but not the elevator game, no, sir.
All right. Well, let's just say it's probably a little less fun than the name would imply. But there is a rumor that has been passed down since the early versions of the internet. And it involved entering in a code of numbers on an elevator that has more than 10 floors. Now, according to the rumor, you can do this in any elevator with 10 floors or more. However, I will caution, one aside, this will need to be done outside of the Dmos building. I would not like for you to attempt this here. If memory serves, there's a building down the way a little bit. I'll give you directions in a bit. Point is, there is some potential truth to this internet legend. We're going to see how well you can investigate.
Understood, sir.
So, and I know things can seem a little, let's say, scary at times. I'm sure Mr. Muller will happily keep you safe and sound.
Yes, the happily.
Now, I will also mention, actually, excuse me for one moment. It seems potentially that I might have to cut this little interview short. Is there any final questions that you might have for me?
No, not at this time.
You sure about that?
What?
Got any pressing questions about whether or not you should have taken this position, this offer?
No, sir. I think I'm right where I need to be.
All right. Well, in that case, gentlemen, here are your papers. Godspeed, whichever one you choose.
And as I click a couple buttons here, one Agent Stone boop, leaves the room. The two of you are now in this kind of mildly creepy interrogation looking room, met for the first time. And there is a manila folder left on there for you. Unmarked. And the beginnings of a very interesting evening seems to be approaching. And I feel like this is probably an excellent point for us to take our first break. A nice little pause point before we go any deeper into this. And believe me, this is going to go down a rabbit hole.
Oh boy.
How you feeling?
You like Hassenpfeffer?
Hassenpfeffer is not bad. I've had it before.
You've had Hassenpfeffer. Good. This will be nothing like that.
I'm only assuming it will go downhill from here if I'm not careful, sir.
Fantastic. So on that note, I'm going to say we're going to take a very short break. We're going to come back 5-10 minutes or so, get some water. A very special thanks to Agent Stone for a guest star. And Mr. Seamus, thank you for joining us. We'll do proper introductions after the break. Yeah. We'll see you guys real soon.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic.
What? You should not read the chat.
No, not beans.
No, beans, not beans. Why beans?
Exactly. Why wouldn't it be beans? And also call sign in the Navy.
We're not muted.
Oh, we're not muted.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere. It is speculated that these objects are of extraterrestrial origin. The broadcast will quiet at this time for your safety. Continue to carry out the following instructions.
didn't sleep well last night.
Don't go into that fog.
And now, an update from the local Neighborhood Watch. It would seem that there have been some shady characters lurking about the residential parts of town. Robed, hooded figures have been scurrying about in the night. These characters are quite small, about the size of a 12-year-old child, and the sound of playful giggling has been heard echoing through the night as they disappear around the corners of the endless rows of red picket fences the moment a flashlight is turned upon them. The members of the local Neighborhood Watch have been working to capture one of these figures and trap them in one of the cages in the Neighborhood Watch dungeon, but have had no success so far. Once these figures slip into the darkness, it is as if they have disappeared completely, rendering all the traps and weapons of the Neighborhood Watch completely useless. So far, these robed figures have not caused any real harm, as they have just been painting strange symbols on buildings and fences. It's anyone's guess what they're up to, but if they really are mischievous youth, we probably wouldn't understand anyways.
All right, and I believe we're back. Yeah. Say things?
Stings.
Yeah, we're good. All right.
Woo!
Okay, so. Where did we leave off? Oh, yes. You both had just been given kind of orders, first orders, and mentioned to some kind of elevator game that you needed to investigate. Kind of vague. As he tends to be. If anyone played Vampire, they know. But you're in a room, just the two of you who just met, and the two of you in a manila folder.
Jack looks towards his newfound
He's literally standing
Toward
right behind you.
Oh, well then he doesn't look towards him. He just goes, may I pick up the folder and look? Or would you prefer to do the honors, good sir?
What were you told?
Very little.
No, I believe I was here. He told you. What did he tell you? Did you listen?
The elevator game is what we're here to, or what we're going to investigate somewhere else?
Did you not pay attention?
I'll be honest, I'm in a little bit of a culture shock here. So
Okay.
I'm a bit confused on what you mean. Don't pick up the manila folder is what you're telling me, right?
Did those words leave my mouth?
Well, no, sir, they did
Okay,
not.
son. So that is not what I said. I said, what did he tell you?
Sure, in this particular instance, on what you're referring to, there was a lot covered in this interview that I'm still trying to wrap my head around, sir, if I'm being honest.
I was not talking about the interview. The interview was between you and him, and I was not involved in that. But when I came into the room, you explained some things about what you were going to do. What were you told?
Investigate a building that isn't here and the elevator game.
Okay, so how would you go about doing that?
I assume that we'd have to look at the manila folder to get
Okay,
more
so
details.
then why are you asking me?
Common
I am
courtesy,
here
I suppose.
to help you. I am here to evaluate you, so to speak.
Ah. Fair enough. Now
I am
understand
here.
what you're
I
saying.
am here to keep you safe. If the time comes, you will listen to me.
Understood, sir.
But you are supposed to be doing investigating, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then why are you asking me what to do?
All right. I will pick up the folder and take a look then.
Excellent. Inside said folder, I'm going to be giving information to both of you in Discord at this point, because this is a big block of text. For those who are watching, I suppose you guys can either read this out loud as you get it, or I can cover this.
Or they can suffer
Or they can say,
and find out as they need to.
that's true. So, Beans, there's yours. Cerberus, there's yours. And this stuff I didn't write. As some of our viewers might know, as they have mentioned in chat, this elevator game is an actual known thing from the early years of the internet.
Beans will silently read this first. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. And because just pure silence isn't really fun for everybody else, I'm going to kick in here and explain what they're reading.
Would you like me to read this?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. And for this, it's in your head. You don't have to use the accent if you don't want to, but if you need to.
It works better. That's
Excellent.
why I can keep doing it.
Proceed.
This introduction. This is the game from Korea. By performing this ritual, you are supposed to get to a different world. According to people that have successfully completed the game, it looks the same as the town/buildings that you entered from, but also lights are off, and you can only see a red cross in the distance. There are no other living things except for yourself. Some say electronics like phones, cameras, etc. don't work, or some say they do. Also, some say that getting back to the real world is harder for some reason. You get disoriented and forget the elevator you came on, or somehow the elevator seems to get further and further away as you walk towards it. This is how you do it. You must be in a 10-plus story building and in the elevator alone. If someone is in the elevator with you, it will not work. Get on the elevator on the first floor. Well, 1. Get on the elevator on the first floor. 2. Press 4 when you reach the fourth floor. Don't get out and press 2. 3. When you reach the second floor, press 6. 4. When you reach the 6th floor, press 2. 5. When you reach the second floor, press 10. 6. When you reach the 10th floor, press 5. Closing your eyes after this is recommended. When you reach the 5th floor, a girl will come in. That woman is not human. Don't talk or look at the girl. If you do, she'll take you away. 8. Press 1. If the elevator instead starts going up to the 10th floor, then you have succeeded. You will have reached another world where there is no one except you. 9. If you get off at the 10th floor, the girl will ask, "Where are you going?" but don't answer. How to return. This is important. 1. If the woman doesn't get on, and if you don't get off at the 10th floor. 2. If you don't get off at the 10th floor, then press 1. If it doesn't press, keep on pressing until it works. To return after you get off. 1. You must use the same elevator to go back. 2. Do the 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5 combo again. 3. After you reach the 5th floor, press 1. 4. As you're going up to the 10th floor, press some other number to cancel. 5. After you reach the 1st floor, check your surroundings.
It is a complex list of very detailed instructions. Both of you have had a little bit of dabbling into the occult in your backgrounds, and this is a weird thing that seems to be like a little cross between like weird shit on the early internet and the same kind of structure as an occult ritual.
Visibly, Beans, you could tell as he was reading that he was confused at first, but as he read more, he seemed to get more of a focused look on his face. And he says, "Well, this is certainly going to be interesting."
You will learn. Most of these things are very much so.
Is that all that's in the manila envelope, is the instructions for how to do that? Or is there any more detail, like the building we're going to, or just any building with 10 plus floors will work?
You have a few supplemental things. You get like little things, like a little piece of paper that seems to be like URL addresses and dates of posting. It seems like this was originally posted back in like the year 2000 on a Korean social media site named Daum, D-A-U-M, and little indices of other times where it has popped up, URLs printed on pieces of paper, and you currently don't have any way to verify those. And the address listed literally just says out the front door and to the left.
So, I take care to validate this is real and or debunk it if not.
I would assume that yes.
All right. Do you have a pen, black ink pen, by chance?
No, why would I have that?
Well, I knew number 2 pencils were prohibited based on what I read at the receptionist's desk, but I wasn't sure if that also included pens of the black ink variety.
No, I asked why you think I would have one.
It never hurts to ask if someone has one. I just never assume that anyone doesn't have a pen, but I don't assume they do either. That's why I ask.
You are confusing this man. So,
I confuse many people, so understandable.
No, not. You are confusing. You do not confuse. You are confused.
Briefly, there is a sound outside. Sounds like someone's running a vacuum cleaner.
I believe everything is clear outside, so would you like to leave?
Let us take our leave and investigate this mystery.
Yeah.
Min-
I don't know how you are with dead bodies, but
Manila folder
we
in hand
cleaned it up.
as you open the door. There's a person, and younger guy, curly dark hair, running a vacuum cleaner. There aren't any dead bodies in sight, but there is a very auspicious stain on that carpet, and the guy seems to be alternating between a spray bottle and borax with a vacuum cleaner. And he just kind of briefly looks up, meets Severus's eyes, kind of nods, and goes back to working.
At least this time I only stabbed one of them. You may walk, Beans.
Bean starts walking as he hears Severus say this and says to Severus, "You're one of them? I don't want to know what happened to the rest of them, do I?"
I mean, you can ask, I can tell you. That's up to you whether or not you wish to know.
No, I'm curious now. You've opened the can of worms here. What did happen to the rest of them? Shot? Stabbed?
Didn't really shoot. So because world holes, people tend to dislike it when you shoot up an office. Does not ever work out well. Strangulation is the best method for dealing with people in a non-messy way.
You know what? Fair enough. Yeah.
But sometimes blades cannot be avoided. Anyway, we must continue.
Beans continues onward with Severus.
You guys both head back. As you pass the reception desk, the lady is still down in, typing. But as you're walking past the desk, which seems unavoidable with the way the building is constructed, 2 metal tins are slid out already on the desk, one of which contains Beans's stuff, and the other contains all of Severus's items that would not be kosher to bring back to the inner of the office.
It's keys.
It's keys.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Beans will grab his items quickly.
Heading further on, you head out the front door. You pass through the same hall. Open the door. You expect to find the big, barren parking lot that you left your car in, with the overcast sky, but you don't actually. You walk out of the building in a completely different place. Same weird brutalist architecture, same unmarked concrete looking building. You ain't in Kansas anymore. Those blue skies, dead trees. Different place, different parking lot.
Beans takes a moment to see all of this and goes, Beans, where's my car?
If there was XP in this game that I could deduct from you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what?
Well, this is obviously not the same parking lot I went to. I don't think. And I was going to put my phone in my car before.
So then you came out to the wrong entrance.
I went to the front door and,
Did you? Is that where you came in at?
I don't know what entrance I actually came in at, but I just followed the path back out towards the door I came in, which I assumed was the front door, and suddenly I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Everything's a little different. The smell of the sea and the salt water in the air that Agent Stone mentioned earlier, it's not there right now. It's that kind of cold, dry, arid thing that might be in somewhere like more inland. It's like very, very flat looking. And you're definitely in some kind of city. Different place. But, as directed by your very not super helpful piece of paper, glancing out the front door and to the left is a building that is easily 10 floors tall.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna guess that's the building since it's out the front door and to the left.
It's a building, yes.
According to the file, if I were to do this elevator game, electronics make it not work.
That's what it said, yeah.
So, if you're here to evaluate me, I suppose the proper thing to do would be to give you my phone so that you can wait for me to return from this investigation piece for about, we'll call it maybe 30 minutes. If I'm not back in 30, well, I don't know what the protocol is. So what is the protocol for that? You go looking for me, you go back to
The protocol is you went missing.
Alright, so 30 minutes and I'm back, or never again seen. Got it.
That's not what I said. Said you are missing. It is not my job, so to speak, to come find you. Your job is to not get lost.
Fair enough.
So make sure that you don't do that.
So to be clear, let me just make sure that I'm getting this correctly. The first time that I, Todd, run a horror game, Bruce, your first idea is to split up?
Yes.
Just making sure that this is where we want to go with this.
Well, according to the description of the elevator game here, it won't work if someone's in the elevator with me. So that's red flag number one of we absolutely shouldn't split up. But if we're going to debunk this properly, I've got to follow these instructions to a T to be evaluated as best as possible. So this is a very big defining moment of don't split the party, even though everything is telling me to split the party because of the instructions I've been given. It's a lose-lose situation here.
No, it's not.
Could be.
Unless I'm supposed to figure out a trick around that. This is a puzzle or a riddle, and I'm not sure which. I suck at riddles. That's for sure.
It's not really either of those things, but go on.
Let's see.
How do you test? Let's be scientific about this. How do you test if something? How do you test something?
Well, that depends. As a software engineer, I would test it completely different from
how do you
like a
test it?
physicist or
Scientifically, how do you test something?
something. Come up with a hypothesis and test the hypothesis to see if it's accurate or
Don't
not.
you need a control?
Yeah, there's a control somewhere.
So you test it like a scientific inquiry. That's what we are.
Yeah, but what's the control here is the question I have. Been a while since I've taken up science class proper.
So Severus will put his hand on his shoulder. His grip is very strong. So perhaps then he has your phone, he tosses it over his shoulder. So
Clack, clack.
what we do is we both do this together. We test the theory that it will work alone. Now,
So-
I believe also the paper said some say electronics work, some say electronics don't work. Right?
Correct.
So why you handed me your phone is irrelevant. I don't know why you did that.
Is it still on the ground? near
Yes.
where-
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
It's totally on the
I'm gonna totally grab my phone. It's a good thing I bought a very, very powerful protective case.
I had a
Well,
mess.
Good thing we're not in Springfield. Eating the cats.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
No.
Real life government stuff out.
No, I had to fit that one
It's
in
fair.
because
That's fair.
that one's just funny.
That's funny.
All right.
Um,
So
So since the instruction says that some electronics either work or they don't, some say they do, and you can still use some. The only difference would be if one of us versus both of us. So we both go. If it doesn't work, then we can retest the theory with one of us going.
all right, fair enough.
Or we can say we tried it and nothing happened.
So you let me understand correctly. So you're willing to have both of us go in there, nothing happen, and it be considered debunked. But here's the question I have. Out of all of this, what if someone tries this and they disappear? Then what? They're just gone forever and we can just live our lives?
What do you mean?
Well, you have to figure there's a reason we're investigating this beyond just trying to debunk it, right? My suspicion is that someone or several someones have tried this and disappeared.
I would assume, since this is a internet thing, that many people have tried it, since many people have access to the internet. Some people have disappeared, some people have not. Who's to say it was because of whatever buttons they press? What I'm saying is that just because someone presses a button on an elevator does not mean they open a portal to a different world. Now, if you were telling me that one particular building, if you press a certain set of buttons on an elevator and that opened it, okay, I can see where you were coming from with that. But any building? That's not how magic works.
Well, we can go try it together, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, I suppose.
So what you doing?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So what you doing?
Beans will motion to Severus to walk with him to the building.
Is he retrieving his phone?
Oh yeah, he retrieved his phone first.
Okay. Good to know. My cat's losing her mind behind me. I mean, it's great entertainment.
I see. We can see her in the
Yep.
upper corner.
Madness. It's wonderful. That's half the reason this might be angled that way. So, you pick your phone up. And you head over to this building. It looks like a pretty standard apartment building. Nice outside. Nice lobby. A lot of traffic around it. You're definitely in some big city. Can't really tell which one. Heading in.
Beans will go to open the door and hold it open and say, "After you, Severus."
No.
After me, then?
Yes.
Politeness.
No,
It's going to be the bane of my existence, isn't it?
it might be.
Beans
Or
just
it
kind
might
of...
be the reason you die tonight.
Well, at least my mama raised me right if I do die from being too polite.
I believe your mother would appreciate you being alive because you are smart enough to know when it's necessary to be polite.
Beans walks in through the door and says, my mother died when I was a kid, so she would smile from the afterlife knowing that I was polite to the very end.
Fun question.
If she died when you were a child, how would you know that?
I was 7
Is Jack wearing his pendant again?
Yes.
Cool. No reason.
Oh no.
So inside, nice big lobby, nice. It's definitely some kind of apartment building. And as you open the big door, it's lobby that leads straight to...
One thing I forgot to mention is that he is carrying a duffel bag.
Excellent. Good to know.
You know what's in the duffel bag.
I know what's in the duffel bag.
Fantastic.
There is a closed elevator door in front of you.
Well, this is the path of no return. Once you start, you complete the steps, or you quit.
All right. Beans will press the button to summon the
Every time, isn't it?
summon the door.
Mm-hmm.
Or summon the elevator, rather.
Boop. It lights up. It's quiet in here. There's not really a lot of people. Despite the traffic outside, everything's kind of muted. You hear a whirring sound from the other side. And eventually... door opens.
Oh, you definitely had fun with this.
Oh yeah. It's open, it's empty, nobody's in.
Then let's go.
All right. Beans will walk in.
Yes, and Severus will walk in
Excellent.
back to the back of the elevator.
Beans will do the same and prepare to press the buttons.
But then
The door shuts. And you're in.
so Severus will then unzip his duffel bag and stick his hand in there
Mm-hmm.
and hold the duffel bag.
Okay. Excellent. Good to know.
Make sure you follow the steps now.
All right. Beans will press the 4 button first.
Boop. There's a whir. You feel yourself ascending. The more you're thinking about this, the more you kind of see how this kind of urban legend could have really kind of taken off. Elevators are sort of weird in a metaphysical sense. You walk in a door and then it closes and then it opens again and you come out somewhere different. It's not terribly different than when you walked out the front door of the department building and wound up in another place. It's easy to see how weird and metaphysical this concept of combining technology and the occult could get. You press 4. Door opens. You see some office buildings. There's some office doors there. It's
Beans
quiet.
presses. No. Beans will press 2.
There's that awkward pause. Have either of you gotten in an elevator and pushed the button and like not gotten out on the floor?
Yeah.
Is that an experience anybody has had out of character? It's a
Yes.
it's a weird moment of awkwardness. Doors just hanging open and nobody's using it. Doesn't take long for doors to shut again. Which button did you push?
2.
2. You start heading down. The elevator doesn't really have music going on. It's muted again. It's this weird absence of sound. This contained feeling. You've probably been in an elevator a million times and never really thought about how weird an elevator could be. Just being in one. You go down 2 floors. Floor 2. Door opens. It looks like there's a cubicle down there. Office. Like a little plant. One of those little signs that's like, hey, you can exit this way if you need to.
Beans will press 6.
Door closed. Going back up again. This one takes a little longer. Feels really slow. I assume neither of you are talking to each other as the tension is thick.
No.
Yeah, Beans is silent because he remembers specifically talking could be dangerous here, even though it wouldn't be directed at
So the woman who is not in the elevator at the moment?
yeah, he's still focused.
On pressing the button.
Yeah.
Focused. Focused.
Floor
Pressing the button.
6 shows up. Definitely some kind of office. Could have sworn these were apartment buildings before, but it's more like an office. Looks abandoned.
Beans does a double take and starts to get the sense that there is, in fact, more to this than debunking an internet tale. So he presses 2 again.
Door shuts. The feeling of descending. That little thing that happens in your gut every time you start to drop just a little bit without your body like physically doing it themselves. Boy, you almost wish there was bad elevator music. Most elevators you've been in have bad elevator music. How's Severus doing?
He is staring. His eye, if he would look back, his eyes are somewhat looking, but not in focus. Like he's staring off into the middle distance. Beyond that, seems stoic and very still on guard.
Floor 2. Bing. It's the same as you saw before. A nice, safe green exit sign.
Beans thinks to himself for a brief moment, that almost seems more like a trap than trying to figure out this strange internet tale. He'll
What seems
press
like a trap?
the green exit sign.
It's an exit sign. Not everything is a sign of something. Most of the time in buildings,
The
they
door
have
shuts.
exit signs.
It appears to not really be waiting for your conversation.
Beans presses 10.
There's a moment. You're talking for a second, and there's a little delay pressing 10, so there's this little uh-oh. Did we not follow the instructions perfectly correctly? There's a pause, and there's a little grinding noise coming from the elevator shaft above you. But then the lurch in your stomach comes back again as it starts going back up. This one clearly is longer. Heading up and up. The little light's ticking every 5 seconds or so as you pass the floors. Tense anticipation. Eight. 9. This one's weird looking. It's almost gives a backrooms vibe. Completely plain, boring carpet. Tile ceiling, pillars. It's one of those weird liminal things where you're like not even sure what the use of this kind of place would be.
Beans will press 5 and say, make sure to close your eyes.
I believe it said it was recommended, not required.
Fair enough.
The door shuts and it begins to descend.
I'm
9.
pretty sure, so you don't accidentally look at the woman when she enters.
That is correct.
8. 7. 6. 5. Door opens.
I
More
will close
doors.
my eyes.
You've closed your eyes
I will close my eyes right when the door opens.
right when the door opens.
My eyes were already closed as I pressed the button.
Excellent. You try and listen. And try and discern anything except empty air. Since you're keeping your eyes closed, I'm even going to keep the door closed. Because this is all hearing. In which case, as I'm still learning all of the skills on this new game along with everybody, I believe there should be... Is there just straight up? Yeah, there is a listen. Both of you. Roll me listen checks.
Oh, this.
Excellent. A 21. Okay, so we're going to do...
Oh, damn it.
So you literally missed it by 1. At this point, it would be irresponsible for me to not mention this from a storytelling perspective. As I mentioned before, there are 2 ways in which you can try and re-roll your scores, or try and adjust a score that you failed. If it's far off, as Bean's score was, you might try and push it. So you roll again. And if you fail again, there are consequences. There's another one. As you see, Severus has failed his roll by 1. Just 1. If you so choose, Severus, you may reduce your luck score, the total of your luck score, by 1. And it stays that way until you try and get it back. Maybe with after-action reports or things like that. But that will make it a 20, and we'll turn that failure into a success.
I will actually do that.
You will actually
Whoops.
do that. Oh,
Yep.
So, it's not a reroll, it's not an extreme success, but we are going to count it as a 20. And there are, like, the bonus penalty thing right there is like an advantage-disadvantage system, which has not come into play yet, so we'll go into that. So, you're leaning on your luck here a little bit.
What I was trying to do is click on my luck to try and reduce it, but I don't feel
You wound up rolling it anyways. I see. Yep. There's an edit tab. And that's how you can do it.
Okay.
So it's real quiet. The door's open. You've been in hairy situations before, so you're good at listening. And leaning on that training a little bit, you pointedly do not hear a person walking into the elevator. You don't hear footsteps. You're paying hard attention. You don't feel the weird, the little bounce that you would feel from the weight of somebody else entering the elevator. You do, however, very, very briefly. You're not really sure if you actually heard it. It's one of those. It's very just on the bare edge of it because you just barely succeeded. You thought you heard what sounded like someone take a breath. An exhalation. Real subtle. You're not sure. Then you do distinctly hear the elevator doors close.
Beans will press 1.
I would suggest you open your eyes first.
Beans opens his eyes to make sure he presses 1.
You're pressing 1.
Yes. Pressing 1.
At that point, you are on floor 5. The elevator should be going down. You open your eyes, right? To push the right button.
Yes.
Okay, because otherwise we're going to do some funny tests.
Oh no.
You should be going down to 1. You distinctly feel the elevator going up instead.
Right.
Feels like we're going up, doesn't it, Severus?
So you're leaning back to talk to him, right? Or are you still just facing the wall?
I'm still facing the wall.
Excellent. Do me a favor. Give me a spot hidden.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus.
Excellent. Severus, your eyes open?
No.
No, you're just keeping them closed?
But until we hear... once we started going up, I'm like, that's what she says, Saisha. Saisha. Scheisse.
So, Beans is just staring with his nose this close to elevator buttons, trying to not see things, talking to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Severus is standing with his eyes closed, hand in a duffel bag. This one feels like it's taking a little longer. 6, 7. 7 flashes a little bit. 8 very briefly flashes, and then there are no more lights coming from the elevator buttons. It keeps grinding. Leaning on your previous listen check of 20, Severus, you definitely hear another breath. For sure. It is directly behind you.
Well, so that seems laughing. Since my back is to the wall.
Uh-huh.
He will walk forward and put his hand on Jack.
Eyes still
I am
closed?
Yes, I am not calling him that. Well, it appears you have succeeded, Jack.
Well,
Be very careful about what you say, Jack.
Severus, I think I have, indeed.
This is taking a lot longer than it should. The lights aren't blinking anymore. You're definitely still moving.
Well, Jack, I believe after this, once the doors open, we look out. I believe we can leave at that point. I'm pretty sure we do not have to go anywhere, Jack.
That is correct, Severus. We don't have to go anywhere after the door opens, Severus.
Doors open. And I'm going to have to ask, what is everybody doing when the doors open?
I will open my eyes to look out of the door.
Excellent. Okay.
Pointedly not looking around the elevator.
Excellent. So this is going to be, once again, a spot hidden.
Okay.
Beans, too. Hard success. Mr. Severin, your failure has helped you this day. And your
Of course it
direction,
has.
your direction. Oh, beans.
Oh, beans.
Oh, beans.
I don't like this.
The door's open. To be floor 1. Might be floor 10. You don't know at this point. It's weird. You open your eyes to look out, and it is definitely different than any floor you've been on before. All of the lighting is absolutely red. There's a hallway that goes down that looks different than the ones you were at before. And because you rolled so well, you lean to glance out. And while you're glancing out, a little tiny thing of movement in your upper left hand catches your eye. You tilt your head just slightly enough to see. It's kind of a grimy elevator. It's not really the best, but it does have a polished little sheen to it. You see the reflection of a female figure standing directly behind Severin. It's fuzzy because it's not a mirror shine. But you see the reflection of a thinnish shape right behind your buddy.
Direction. We are not buddies.
Fair.
I am not your buddy, guy.
Not your guy, buddy.
Beans recalls the instructions very specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's so on.
Beans will press 1.
You lean up. You push the button. Second passes. 3 seconds pass. The doors don't shut.
Beans will press 1 again.
The doors don't shut.
Beans will press 1 again.
It seems that the doors will not shut.
Beans will say to Severus, we have a bit of a problem, I suppose, Severus.
And the instructions were to keep pressing the button.
Beans will point again and say to Severus, Severus, I suppose it's prudent to state, while we followed the instructions correctly, Severus, we supposedly may have a problem, if you catch my drift, Severus.
No. What are you insinuating, Jack?
Severus, we may have company,
Yes.
but may not, Severus.
I can hear things, Jack.
Beans will press 1 again.
The door does not shut. And because you had such a good success, now you know where that reflection is in the corner of your eye, and it's real hard not to keep an eye. You do notice the head turn to directly attempt to regard you in its fuzzy, kind of grimy reflection.
Beans will not look at the reflection and will focus on pressing 1.
This time there is a noise. It's not really a comforting one. It's a loud, twanging noise of a snap. And the elevator, with its door still open,
Beans will keep pressing 1 through this. Not looking around, just focusing on the buttons.
trying desperately to adhere to rules. I hear a straightforward, not giving in, not relenting. Is Severus just sitting there with his eyes closed the whole time?
Not with his eyes closed. He's keeping an eye out in the hallway, but he's not trying to be curious.
Well, without looking, Severus is a soldier.
Yes.
And he has very good peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're looking straight out this thing, you can see a little bit of a shadow moving from behind you to behind Jack. Real slow. And then it's hard not to hear. It starts really low. It starts getting louder. Man, the whole fucking elevator shakes. The front of it tips forward. It feels like the front inside of the elevator hits against the elevator shaft so that the floor that you're standing on is suddenly like this now. Both of you are going to need to make... I'm going to say... either jump or... is balance a thing in this? Climb? Any kind of athletics thing you can find in your sheet.
Jump, but that would not.
Jump is a thing.
Yep. Climb.
I'll accept any of those. What, depending on what you're trying to do.
Basically, what I'm going to do is to brace my feet against the wall of
Okay.
the elevator.
Excellent.
So I don't fall out of the elevator.
So you don't fall out of the elevator. Okay. We're gonna say you can do jump or climb, whichever is better for you.
Okay.
I feel like that's more of a climb thing.
Okay.
Beans. What are you trying to do?
Beans will hold on to the railing for dear life, trying to continue to press 1.
I will say that.
Oh, I'm going to push it.
Cool. Okay. So you do that. I'm gonna see if I can find what thing Beans got to roll here. You're trying to hold on to something. So I'm gonna say that's just gonna be a straight up strength roll.
I'm going to try and brace. I'm going to try and grab the railing as well. Then
You can attempt to push it.
I will have to push it. Beans.
Beans.
So do I roll another strength roll?
You will roll the exact same thing you just rolled. Yep. So that is 2 failures.
Can I roll strength to hold on
You can try.
instead?
Yep. You can try.
There.
Excellent. Hard success and a failure.
Beans.
So,
I'm going to try and grab him. Then,
so
if I notice he's falling out.
I'm going to say this is a really intense situation. And
Okay.
it is going to be difficult to hold yourself and to grab him. So what this is basically, I'm going to have you make basically I would say that would be like fighting, like the brawl, because you're physically trying to grab another person.
Okay.
But I'm going to set the difficulty a bit higher. It's going to be you're going to require a hard success instead of instead of a regular success.
I clicked hard on roll options.
You shouldn't actually have to click anything. We'll just see what you get. It'll just pop up failure and whatever.
Nope.
You almost rolled 100. So, here's how this goes.
If he's going out,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to let go and go with him.
Okay. Neat. So this is how this goes. Jack straight up just tumbles out into the front section. You reach at him, but like you miss his like suit jacket just by just a bit, and you have the by a line. Like there was very little chance of you pulling this off. You knew it, but you wanted to try anyways, and you have a split second to decide. I want to get out of this fucking elevator, and you do.
I don't want to, but I have a job to do.
Release the bar, and you kind of half lunge yourself out. Right as you feel the elevator begin to fall, 2 things happen really quickly. First off, you are relieved to find yourself roll onto the floor, the heels of your feet just missing a wall of metal flying past. For a half a second, as you were looking to try and curl up and remove your feet from the line of getting severed, there were a pair of eyes that just went out of frame at the same time. That's the good news. You have feet. The bad news is that in this little tussle, you have lost your bag.
Fuck.
It went with the elevator.
At least I still have my other one.
Mm-hmm.
So roll out, come up, draw.
You guys find yourself in
So
a
how
rather
much
well-lit place.
How much does your character know about weapons?
Let's see. Hold, please. Relatively familiar with a handgun.
Okay. So he pulls out a Ruger, sorry. You know, it's a classic German pistol.
Ah, a man of taste.
Reliability. Anyway. So here's the problem that we're on now. According to the notes, in order to get back, we have to use the same elevator.
Correct.
The instant you say that, there's a little ding that comes from the elevator. And there's a little bit of a grinding sound as if there aren't snapped cables and those things that you just experienced didn't just happen. Meanwhile, you are in a well-lit red hall. It has the same vibe of the building you were in before, but not like... Clearly not well-lit. Everything feels a bit sinister. Give me spot hiddens for everybody. That's just general perception checks seems to be the way this goes. Sometimes the good, sometimes the bad. That's real hard. Nope. You're pretty disoriented, and what you see is what you see.
Hit the elevator button.
Beans will go to press the elevator button at the same elevator we just got off.
You push the button. It lights up like it's actually going to function. There's a bit of a grinding sound. You are, however, standing next to in a hallway. But at the end of the hallway, right next to where the elevator is, there is a big, wide, open, pane glass window. And you can easily see outside from it, and you see where the lighting scheme is coming from.
Lovely.
The Red Cross. Looks like we hit that other dimension after all, eh, Severus?
She's not here now. But yes, it appears to be the case. Congratulations.
Now we just need to get back.
Is this the first time you've seen anything like this?
Alternate dimension that is accessed.
I'm asking you as the player. Has this character seen anything like this before?
Not of this magnitude, no.
Okay. How is he
Occasionally.
reacting to all of this? How does he look?
Gimme.
Beans looks out and sees this.
Jack.
Well,
He's gonna use that forever.
I am, yeah. He looks out and sees this and is almost stoic. Like, this answers a lot more questions than it raises for him.
This
He's-
actually points for a very good thing right here. We're gonna make a move. We're gonna make a move here. Mr. Jack, looking out into this weird fucking ill-lit world. I want you to go ahead and click the button on your character sheet that makes a sanity roll.
I'm scared. Oh boy, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Understandably good.
So, you look out into this weird fucking world. And a lot of things that you had previously thought that could be, that might be, you're seeing it now. Beforehand, you've had small experiences here and there, but a lot of them existed in a physical space with you. Things that you saw in rooms that you were in. This is a whole different ball of wax, and instead of being terribly shaken by it, you are overwhelmed with a sudden, oh, I wasn't completely crazy. Whether he feels good or bad about that, that's up to him. What does he feel?
He feels almost a sense of relief at the acquisition that of the knowledge that he wasn't entirely crazy, and there were these otherworldly things around him all this time. But he also feels a sense of responsibility, a sense of curiosity too, to make sure that he gets back to the real world so he can continue to investigate, or rather not the real world, that's a poor choice of words, the normal reality he is a part of, I should say,
You're
to make sure that he... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
To make sure that he can explore these things more and figure out the bits and pieces.
As he's thinking briefly, like, the idea of getting back crosses your mind and how important it is. There are open elevator doors next to you.
Let's go, Severus. Beans will get in the elevator.
Back into the elevator. Gun out.
Mm-hmm. You checking it first?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It looks just like it did before. Empty.
Alright, once Everest and Beans are both in the elevator, Beans will start by, pressing the 4 button.
Door shuts. It starts to grind. It's weird. This time you're not really sure if you're going up or down.
Everything's relative at this point.
Perhaps it always was. The lights kind of flicker. All of them kind of light up at once and then flicker and then go out. Eventually, the light for 4 goes off. The door opens.
Beans will press 2.
Before he does, it looks exactly like the same floor that you got off on before. He pushes 2. The door shuts. You have a sense that you're probably moving again. Both men are very quiet, just waiting to see what happens.
But you're stuck a very stoic German man and
Beans.
another beans.
Beans. So, which floor did you press?
I pressed 2.
Excellent. The door opens. 2 lights up. It looks like the same place again. This one's a little different. Not in the sense that it looks like a different floor, but it looks like you are actually not alone. The door opens. It isn't a woman you see at all. You very, Severus, before you encountered Mr. Napier tonight, you made a couple of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And dispatched them pretty handily. There were 3 of them. They seem to have military fatigues. They seem to be armed, and honestly, in your home turf, it wasn't even fair for them. The corridors help you do what you want. The corridors seem to do what they wanted. You had a very good angle on them. And outside of these elevator doors, they don't look particularly happy.
Fantastic. I will go move to the side of the elevator and hurry up, press the button.
Beans presses 6 immediately
Presses 6
and moves to the side.
Good, because they're kind of like standing tilted to the side, like their heads off. One of them does like raise a single hand, which does have a pistol in it, and does take a shot into the elevator. And that's a pretty good roll. So, because Severus, you were wise and decided to take cover, That, fortunately, in the combat rules of this game, does give them a penalty, which is the equivalent of disadvantage. So they have to roll again.
Yeah.
Good thinking with your brain. Let's see what happens. So that turns it to a bigger total. I believe? 0? No, so that makes it 0, which can't happen. So that makes it 100, which makes it miss.
Yay. Fantastic.
So you guys have this moment of, oh, push the button, ping, 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 ping. Shots are ringing out in the elevator all of a sudden, and it suddenly gets very tense, very fast.
Is the door still open?
It seems like that happened at the instant the door stuck open, and it's generally open for about 3 seconds. So why don't we just do this and initiate this combat music very briefly. Fantastic. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to keep my cover and return fire.
Return fire. All right. Feel free to make your attack roll.
Holy shit.
You are in cover.
I do some things well.
You do some things well. Here's how this goes. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Is Beans doing anything?
Beans will. He made sure to press the 6 button before doing anything else, just the one time.
That already happened.
And he will also. Was he given a gun, right?
You did not ask for a gun.
Did not.
Oh.
Do you just have a
Then-
weapon? It will be under the combat portion of your character sheet. If there is nothing listed, then you don't have one.
He does have. Hang on, I gotta find it.
I could look too. I've got your sheet.
Combat. Yeah, he's got the 9mm.
You do have a gun.
So do I? If I wanted to shoot it, I would click on the weapon.
Yep.
Or okay.
I said nope.
Oh, I forgot.
Actually, yeah. Can you go to combat and click on the gun that you fired? We're still going to count it as an extreme success because you rolled it. It's going to make another roll, but we won't actually count that. Okay. So 5 damage. Yeah, you can fire more than 1 round, but you can do it. You can fire multiple times, but it makes it have a penalty. So potential of more damage, but less of a chance to hit. But, so, here's how this goes. Almost akin to a Resident Evil movie. Bing, doors open. There's a zombie outside that lifts his hand and starts shooting in, and both of you slam against opposite sides of the elevator door, pull out guns, and immediately start returning fire. Jack, it doesn't seem like you hit because you're very stressed and all of a sudden, and I will say that you kind of had your weapon is like, how do you secure your weapon? Like under coat, like under arm in the back. You jam it in your pants like you're not supposed to. What do you do?
Oh, please don't. No, please do that. Makes that it's the way you pull it out.
Oh no, he has it tucked in his jacket.
So you have like a shoulder holster like FBS though. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So shots go off and they start moving towards you, but the doors start shutting. And the one that Severin hit, clunk, right in the dome. 5 damage to him. How many hit points does this motherfucker have? Oh, good. He's got more than 5 hit points. So, he's going to attempt to make another. He tries to fire, like, stick his hand in the elevator, so it, like, clunk on his hand, and is, like, trying to fire, like, twisting his wrist around to try and hit. He's going to try for Severin again. So, here's how that goes. Because, in real life, you can't really contest gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
You are in a bit of a lucky state. Because this hand goes in the door and, like, the wrist kind of, like, and, like, fires inside the elevator. It's amazingly loud. Hits you in the vest. Because you're wearing your ballistic vest, and it reduces more than 6 damage. So you are gonna bruise from this, but you don't actually take any hit point damage. And the gun is still trying, like, the finger is clicking sporadically.
I'm going to try and break off the hand.
Excellent. That can be any way you want to do with it.
Strength.
I would say that could either be a fighting. You could try and use your, like, fighting brawl is that sort of thing.
Okay. I do.
Or if you have, like, a knife or something, you could. Depends on what you got.
Well, I do not have a knife on me, so we will use brawl.
Okay. That is significant. So, for this, it is going to be a contested roll. But they're not that great at us. Let's see what they do. Bad. So, pow, 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 pow. You grab it, get into lock, and the hand clean comes off.
Fantastic. Is the door closed yet, or?
The elevator door just closes.
Fantastic. Take the gun out of the hand.
Okay.
What the hell was that?
There's a moment while you're doing that, the hand spasms.
Of course it does. That's why I took the gun out of it. What do you mean? What was that?
I suppose
What
just
do you
another
think it
job
was?
hazard.
Something like that. What do you think it was?
Pissed off, angry spirits, or zombies, or something coming back for revenge in this
So that was your hit squad.
world.
Congratulations. You saw some.
Beans.
There was not beans.
How do you think I got the name, the call sign Beans, exactly, Severus?
Your friends were making jokes at your expense.
No.
The door
Beans will
opens
press.
again.
Hit the button.
Beans presses 2 immediately.
Immediately as the doors open. Okay, cool. There appears to be...
I will toss the hands out.
You toss the hand out? Okay. That's probably wise.
Thank you.
Okay. You hit your hand lands. Slides a little bit across the paneled floor. There's a little bit of a smear. Seconds pass.
What were you saying?
And the instant the door shuts, you could swear the hand went like... But the door shuts.
Fantastic.
To answer the question about how I got the name Beans, it wasn't because of friends making jokes at my expense. It was Because I say beans quite
Yes.
frequently.
I've picked up on that little quirk of yours, but I'm assuming they gave you the nickname as a joke because you say it all the time.
Drill sergeant's got a kick out of it.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they put the knife hand in your face and went, "Listen up, you motherfucking beans. I'm going to bake your fucking ass in the sun." Hits the button.
The door opens.
Beans
again.
presses 10. He presses 10 this time.
You go to press 10 quickly. The door opened. You got by that joke a little bit, which is fair.
Yeah.
There is someone standing in the hall again. A fully uniformed one Sergeant Huckleby.
Oh, motherfucker. No. Beans notices this and says, "There's no way in hell Hucklebee's here.
Who is this Huckleberry?
He was my sergeant in
You should
the
have
Navy."
stayed in, Beans. It talks. It's not waiting for you to have a conversation about the past. You should have stayed in. It was safe there. The doors aren't shutting just yet.
I got out because it was safer to get out.
Don't interact. Who is that?
It's not safer. And he reaches up and kind of like messes with his hair. There's always a little bit of a joke that Sergeant Huckleby probably wore a toupee. Reaches up and like seems to pull out part of his scalp. The hair just kind of comes back like it's a toupee. Under that is decidedly green hair that also comes back as chunks of your memory. He is approaching the door, going like this with his face. What are you doing in this moment? I'm giving you a moment here. I'm being kind.
Beans, remembering that Huckleby was a good sergeant, a good man, but also acknowledging that this shit is not Huckleby.
Ready to shoot him in the head.
Yep, he's gonna aim and fire.
Excellent. Go ahead and fire. I'm just gonna let you. He doesn't seem to have a weapon. 7 hits. There's a gash of blood right across his face. That's 6 damage. No, that's not bad. And it just seems to peel away more of what was kind of Hucklebee's face. And more green comes out into the hair. And it's a very distinctive green that brings back a whole lot of really bad memories from childhood as the rest of his face comes off. And it is a face you do not like very much at all.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to fire again. Since I can fire multiple attacks in a
You
round.
can fire. Well, I mean, this is close enough to a round anyways. I'm just going to let you shoot again.
Okay.
Beans is also definitely going to
Ooh,
fire
just
again.
got it. Okay. There's a lot of gunfights going on here.
Well, that's 10 damage. Nice.
That's 10 damage.
Let's see.
Oh.
You are bad at this.
Clowns. Fucking clowns.
The mouth opens up way bigger than it should as the gunfire goes off into it, staggering it back for long enough for the doors to once again shut.
Are you afraid of the clown?
It's a long story. Beans will.
I did
rest.
not ask about the long story. I asked if you are feared of clowns. I don't need the backstory. I do not care.
Short version. That clown, yes.
So that,
All clowns, really.
so clowns. So yes, okay, good. You're afraid of clowns. Yeah, it's good to know. So I know is if we need to go into clowns, I know to watch out for you. So that's how this works. I don't need the backstory. I do not care.
Storyteller's note. What button did you hit?
Oh, I hit 10
You hit
previously
10.
before the. Yeah.
For the clown.
Yeah, before the clown.
Excellent.
So then you must cancel, right?
No, we have to hit 5 again after. It goes 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5. When we hit 5, we then press 1. As we're going up to the 10th floor, we press any other number
Okay,
to
so
cancel.
that's when we cancel. Okay.
There's a dead-ass clown on the floor.
Beans will press 5.
It's hard to really tell the... Yeah, I never... This game is going to make me say all sorts of things I never thought I'd say out loud. It's hard to tell the cranial damage of your victim around his giant red shoes. But there is a pool of reddish black coming from the big poof of green across the floor.
Okay. Before the door closes again, I will put another bullet in the clown.
Don't even need to make a roll. And let it
Fantastic.
happen. Pop. The whole body, as the door is shutting again, starts to shudder. And you swear in the last seconds before that door shuts, something black, gory, and spider-like starts to crawl out of the cranial wound. Door shuts.
Oh, it's double tap.
Time's passing. What button did you push?
I pushed 5.
This one you definitely feel like you're going down.
Beans is regaining a little bit of his composure here.
I'm making sure that I'm taking a look at the gun that I pulled off of the zombie,
Mm-hmm.
making sure it is still here in my hand.
It appears to be.
Cool. Good to know.
You had a... You know what? I'm going to say that actually would be more Call of Cthulhu stats. Let me check here. That's going to be like a... I think there's something you can do to recollect things that you saw before. Maybe. I'm going to say, let's just make it be another spot hidden.
Nope.
It doesn't seem like a particularly special or interesting gun. It seems to be a fairly generic 9mm.
Okay.
Standard issue shit.
Fantastic. I wasn't looking for any. I'm making sure that it's still in my hand.
It is.
Cool. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Looks like the same floor. The clown's gone. There's a puddle on the floor. And really delicate little dots leading up, off to the left out of the elevator, up one wall, and into an open vent.
Okay.
Beans will press 1.
I'm going to keep. As soon as I see that, I will turn around and keep an eye on the vent in the elevator. Because I noticed there's one.
Door shuts. Feels like you're moving down.
Well, let's see. 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5, 1. I'm going to press
So
8.
1, you're gonna press 8.
Well, I press 1 first. When
Okay.
I feel the elevators,
So
we should be going up.
You should be going up, and you are going up. I misspoke there. It feels like you're doing the combo again, and it's going back up to the 10th floor.
I will press 8 as we start going up to cancel out going up to 10.
Okay. There's a weird shudder in the elevator. The elevator keeps going up and like stops. The doors don't open. Both of you give me listen checks. Beans? It's beans? Nothing. This is all bad for you, and it's real quiet. Service isn't very talkative, and it's not making a lot of nice conversation in here. But motherfucker rolled a 1. So you hear 2 things, Severus.
Mm-hmm.
1, you hear delicate little on the roof. Very, very, very gentle. And you swear, this one's much more muted. It's the same kind of like sound as you experienced before with this woman, but it almost feels, or it almost sounds, I should say. It sounds like it's coming from outside the elevator. They all left me here. Don't go. And that's it.
Then, step in, Jack. Let us go down to the first floor. Right? That is.
Severus, in theory, we should probably be heading to the first floor, I would imagine. I pressed another number to cancel, but
But we never press the button to go down to the first floor.
You did
Right.
not. And the elevator,
Oh.
just so you're aware, the elevator is currently not moving and the doors are closed.
okay. Then I press 1 to go to the first floor.
1 lights up. There is a moment that is quite unnerving where the lights in the elevator goes off. The only light in the whole room, bar any equipment that you brought with you, is the one light that is illuminated like a fucking candle. With Mr. Critical Success over here, you hear what sounds like no, with a critical success you can definitely tell. you hear a woman crying. And then the lights, like they were fluorescent, even though they're not, flicker back on, and you feel the elevator going down. Moments pass by.
Which
What
is
do you-
fun. He's funny because it rhymed, even though he was actually born in 95.
Fantastic. This actually appears to be the real first floor.
With weapon drawn, Beans will check his surroundings.
Careful. Is the other gun still in my hand?
So, fun fact, you notice two things. One,
Uh-huh.
the gun is still in your hand. Your
Fantastic.
acquired gun is still in your hand.
Uh-huh.
Also, when you look down to check, by your foot, there's your bag.
Fantastic.
It's just right there.
Fantastic. I'm going to put the gun inside the bag.
Cool.
I'm going to holster my other gun.
Mm-hmm.
Careful. Look around. I will holster your gun.
Beans holsters his gun after looking around a little bit to make sure that we're golden, as it were.
We don't want to scare the natives.
It appears. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to say it appears anything. Give me them spot hidden checks. Let's see how this goes. If you both fail, I get to say the thing. Haha. Looks fine.
Looks. How's it look? Looks clear.
Looks clear. Said it looked clear. From all purposes, you look around and see that it is, to your best of memory, even though this is a pretty unremarkable building when you first walked in, this looks exactly like how you came in. There still really aren't people around. There was kind of that little, like, quasi-reception desk that, like, apartments have that are never fucking staffed. Once again, it's not staffed. There's no clown blood in sight. There's nothing like that. Looks clear.
All right.
Spell check.
Suppose the best thing to do now would be go back to where we started and do a report.
Neat.
Yes.
And if you move, you move through the hall. You head back outside. It appears to be the building that you entered. The sounds of traffic are back. The sounds of, like, regular humanity in a regular city, in a regular place, have returned. You get that feeling of, like, familiarity. Ah, I know this. Like, this feels normal. This feels right. And getting your bearings, as you were before, you look to your right, opposite as it was before. There's the building. The other building. It's very confusing.
Beans will walk towards the building, obeying traffic laws, of course. So.
Oh, will he? Okay. Just to be clear. It would be a real shame if good old Beans just survived going to hell and back, and then he gets taken out by a car.
He's not stupid. He knows how the sidewalks and crosswalks are his only safe haven and places he's not familiar with.
Survived
Besides,
zombie SWAT teams and murderous clowns, gets fucking killed by a Honda Civic.
besides, people in Chicago don't obey, a lot of laws.
Shit, with my luck, it would be a Kia Soul. Which is my IRL car.
With Sahamta's driving.
I had to remember, was that the Kia Soul? And then I remembered, yes. It was the hamster car.
Anyway,
You
once we get back inside.
go inside. It's the same building you entered in the first place. Everything seems just like you walked in. People are milling around. Severus, you notice that the people who were there before this, definitely Dmos personnel.
Mm-hmm.
In all of your experience, you've never seen anything replicate something like this before in this place. So your sense of, oh, we're probably good is much higher.
Because it's the banality of where we are.
Indeed.
Anyway, Ben, do you know where to go to make your report?
No, sir. If you could guide me on where to go to make my report, that would be wonderful, sir.
Do not. I am not a sir. I am not in charge. There is no formality with here. Do not use that. You can use Severin or Mr. Mueller if you would like. So it's
Mr.
not
Mueller.
that option.
All right, I understand, Mr. Mueller.
Is that the way you're going to play it? Alright. That is fair.
I
Mr.
spent 8
Harlow.
years in the Navy.
Yes, I spent longer than that in many other branches of the armed forces. I am more well trained than you are.
Respect to a superior officer is
I
respect
did
to a
not say
superior
I was
officer.
superior officer. I said superior training. There's a difference.
By this time, you guys have walked down the hall.
I'm going to branch off away from him
Okay.
and go into research and development because I have a
Excellent.
gun that I need to give somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. And we'll talk about that shit later. But as you split off going one way, you get back to the receptionist desk, and the lady actually stands up and points at a finger at you for you to come closer.
I approach.
She looks at you and then kind of looks past you at Severus is peeling off to go to a different place.
People,
You survived the thing and him. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mr. Napier. And she slides a thing, one of those trays under the little slot, and in it is a little ID badge that has the Dmos logo on it and your name, and has level 2 security written on it, and a little cell phone. Welcome to the team.
Thank you. I pick up the badge and the cell phone.
Yeah, good luck. Make yourself at home. Look around, and I do recommend you check out that phone in particular. That is very secure, and it has access to the operative network. It's self-explanatory. It should set you up automatically. You should be fine.
All right.
I need you to make one last roll for me, Mr. Beans. Give me another spot hidden. Great. So you bring up your phone. You rolled bad. This is good. You bring up your phone. It's turned off. So, solid black. Black class. You go to turn it on. And you swear to God for a second before the little red thing pops up with the Dmos logo. You see right behind you the silhouette of a dark-haired woman. It looks awful familiar. Looks an awful lot like the one you saw in the elevator.
I'm not
Haunted.
I'm not going to turn around.
That's fine, because that's where we're going to leave for tonight. Congratulations, you didn't fucking die.
Ooh. Ooh, that was a little, that was a very tight clench.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
As my old buddy said, would we have called that a tight butthole time?
Tight butthole.
Yes. Tight
Excellent.
the whole time.
Excellent. That means I'm doing my job right. Keeping the dream alive. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it for first episode of Dmos. We have a couple more of these missions lined up with a different cast every time. Should be fun. That also means, Mr. Bruce, that right after we're done here, I'm gonna get you thrown into the Discord, since you're officially hired and you can see all the official company shit in the pages and pages of lore I've fucking written.
All the shit they've been talking in secret this whole time.
There isn't actually that much, because we're just getting started, but I have a suspicion that maybe now there will be.
There is no out of character.
There is no out of character. It's all in character, but it's all modern day, so stupid memes and jokes are they would make sense if they'd be in character. That said, thanks guys for watching,
Thanks, guys.
for enjoying. Mr. Lord Sparta dude with his fantastic guest appearance as Agent Stone. Fantastic.
He was very fancily dressed. I appreciated the suit.
Yeah, he
tie.
was. I was like, oh wow, he makes me feel inferior.
I
That's
just
pretty
wanted.
good.
I really just wanted to shoot him.
I mean, first reactions and all, fantastic. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you guys for watching. And next week we're gonna have another fun ride. But between the two of you, we're gonna have to talk at some point, because you two are gonna need to make an after-action report. Whatever that means, we can talk about it. I'll probably keep you in this specific Discord chat. We'll talk about stuff. And you can either write something, you can voice it yourself, and it'll wind up on the YouTube page with all the other cool shit.
Yay.
All right.
And that should get you potential sanity points working through your trauma. It could get you potential luck points. Depends.
It'd be good to try to just watch R&D just go fucking nuts over this little present.
That's gonna be a whole thing. That's going to be a whole thing.
Zombie ghost gun? Question mark.
Fantastic question.
Who knows?
R&D is about to know. I think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
And yeah.
Either way, all of you fine people, come back, watch new people go through different traumas.
I think there's going to be plenty of trauma to go around. So
Yes.
until next week, thanks for joining, and good luck.